I don't know when Jiang's mother hung up the phone. When I woke up again, I was already in Jiang Yan's office. The phone call from last night had been completely forgotten amidst the events Jiang Yan had initiated. Lazily lounging on the sofa, I watched him working in his impeccable suit, a stark contrast to the wild man from last night, and I couldn't help but snickered. He wore a dark brown suit, meticulously put together, looking all businesslike, which made him look totally different from last night's frenzy. I rolled over on the sofa, and not surprisingly, his assistant was distracted again. Seeing his flustered state made me laugh out loud. The assistant stood straight, stammering as if embarrassed. "Mr. Jiang, the meeting, are you going to continue?" Hmm. It wasn't clear what he meant by that and the assistant looked at me desperately for help. Surprised, I didn't understand why the assistant thought I could make decisions for Jiang Yan. I stayed silent, and Jiang Yan didn't even look up. Sighing, I found it all rather dull. Sitting up, I waved at the assistant. "Go ahead. He'll be there in a moment." Jiang Yan finally looked up, our eyes meeting. Neither of us spoke. After a moment, Jiang Yan nodded. Relieved, the assistant hurried out. During this time, Jiang Yan kept watching me. "How about it? Planning to keep me under close watch? Aren't you afraid of dying over this?" I asked coldly. "Not afraid." His straightforward answer caught me off guard, almost making me choked. "Dying over you is worth it." After years, his flirty words had only gotten more outrageous, and I stared at him with wide eyes. Seeing my reaction, Jiang Yin chuckled softly, walked over, and hugged me, asking softly, "Does it still hurt?" I stiffened, my response dripping with sarcasm. "Don't you know your own strength?" "Hurt?" It was damn near excruciating. Hearing this, Jiang Yin smirked again. He was usually so reserved and cold, but his smile seemed to warm the chill somewhat, and I found myself distracted by it. Realizing this, I quickly shook my head to clear it. "Too thin," Jiang Yin muttered while caressing my bony back. "R1, you need to exercise." That comment stunned me. After our first time together, years ago, Jiang Yin had buried his head in my neck, mocking me in the same way. Back then, I had hit his back in embarrassment and rage. "What are you thinking about?" His teasing tone seemed to see right through me. "Exercise your grandpa. I'm fine." I snapped back angrily, shoving a cushion behind me to fend him off. Jiang Yin just shrugged, obviously not convinced. I felt the irritation trapped inside me. "Get out. Stop hovering around me." "All right, you sleep a bit more. I'll be back soon, and the meal I ordered for you will arrive soon," he said calmly, letting me boss him around. I waved him off and lay back down on the sofa, not even bothering to watch him leave. After he left, I took a phone call from the nursing home. "Mr. Wan, your father's lucid periods are getting shorter. When will you be coming over?" I sat up, gripping the phone tightly. "In 2 days." "All right. Also, this morning Mrs. Jiang visited the hospital. Did she speak to my father?" I asked anxiously. "No, but she asked me to tell you that she hopes you would be sensible." "Okay, I understand." After hanging up, I sat on the sofa lost in thought, hearing Jiang's mother's voice from that night echoing in my ears. "Do you want all your years of hard work to go to waste? Am I going to ruin Jiang Yan again?" Before I was 18, my life was a picture of success, family business among the top 500, loving parents, and meeting Jiang Yan. I flaunted my youth and luck, which seemed to stop at 18. Jiang's parents' intervention, the bankruptcy of our family business, relatives taking advantage, my mother's sudden death, and the astronomical debt. From a favored son to falling into endless darkness overnight. The breakup with Jiang Yan, the endless debt collection calls, and the nightly visits from various thugs. Those memories were vivid in my mind, like a fast-forwarding film. In the silent office, I could hear my own heartbeat clearly. In 2 days, I would leave for sure. When I woke up, Jiang Yan had returned from his meeting. He set the food before me, all my favorites. He didn't need to ask. I just looked, and he knew exactly what to feed me. His enjoyment was evident. "It's too bland." I pushed away the soup he offered, not wanting to drink it. Sweetheart, you can't eat spicy food right now, he cooed, trying to spoon-feed me again. I rolled my eyes at him, but eventually drank it. I told myself, just 2 days. I would stay by his side for just 2 days. Whether it was making up for leaving him abruptly before, or just a personal wish. Just 2 days. Once those days were up, I would leave immediately. During these 2 days with Jiang Yan, I reverted to my old self. Servants at my beck and call, pampered and spoiled by Jiang Yan without restraint. The days went by quickly with Jiang Yan at work and me alone in his house, playing games, watching TV. But at night, he made sure I was thoroughly inebriated before we slept. It felt like he was trying to make up for all the years we missed in just a few nights. That night, he seemed to have had a bit too much to drink. His eyes were gentle and seductive, and his lips tenderly kissed me.
Ah Ruan, ah Ruan.
His hot breath, laced with an enticing scent of alcohol, tickled my senses. I pushed his face away. Are you a dog or something? Always nuzzling? MHM, your dog. A low and muffled woof right struck my heart. You're breaking the rules. I laughed and cried at the absurdity, but seeing his slightly drunken state, I couldn't help but reach out and mess up his hair. He looked at me, his eyes slightly dazed from the alcohol, and guided my hand downwards. Hey, Arwan, I miss you. His voice carried a tinge of wistfulness. I softened instantly. Don't leave me. He looked at me intensely, insisting on an answer. I was momentarily distracted, and he took the opportunity to press into me sharply, watching me intently. As I remained silent, a reddish hue began to appear in his eyes. All right. My voice trailed off, lost in his kiss. That night, Jiang Yin was relentless again. I never imagined that the shy young man from 8 years ago would become so fierce and overwhelming, leaving me completely defenseless against his advances. Probably Jiang Yin never expected that right after I agreed not to leave him the night before, I would end up entangled with another man in his house the very next day. And it was someone he knew, someone who had always been a thorn in his side. Jiang Yin watched as Lu Tong half embraced me, his tall frame seeming to buckle in an instant. Lu Tong's long, sparse eyelashes drooped in a melancholy and rebellious look, his gaze towards Jiang Yin filled with disdain, just like 8 years ago. Mr. Jiang, thanks for taking care of Arwan these past few days. I'm here to take him away. 8 years ago, when I was desperate, Lu Tong defied all pressures to take me away from Jiang Yin and out of this city. And now, once again, Jiang Yin just stood by the window, the light from the sidelight casting a thin shadow in front of him. His pupils no longer showed any other color, the terrifying blackness brimming with danger swirling around. At that moment, he resembled an enraged beast, almost ready to tear his prey apart at the next moment.
Ah Ruan.
Mr. Jiang, you shouldn't call him Arwan anymore. He'll have a new life, a new beginning, Lu Tong said as he held me close, his tone and attitude cutting into Jiang Yin like blades. 8 years ago, I could take him away, and it's the same now. Jiang Yin, what's not yours will never be yours. Marry your rich miss and stop thinking about what shouldn't be. Lu Tong's thin lips spat out harsh words, the hatred in his tone undisguised. Jiang Yin ignored him, his gaze fixed on me the whole time. I knew that if I didn't say something today, I definitely wouldn't be able to leave this place. I pointed to the window beside Jiang Yin and spoke calmly. 23 floors up. Guess what the scene would be like if I jumped? Ignoring Jiang Yan's pale face, I continued. What do you think comes out first? My brains or my shattered bones? Is it even possible to piece them back together? In the quiet, spacious room, only the sound of breathing could be heard. Jiang Yin, hearing my words, became so agitated that his rage seemed to shatter. Jiang Yin, I need to leave or I'll die, I stated flatly. Jiang Yan's form swayed slightly. Am I really that repulsive to you? I involuntarily shuddered, recalling the words I had spoken during our breakup. The news of the bankruptcy had just spread when the school erupted with various rumors about us. Wherever I went, I was accused and even openly criticized by teachers. The negative emotions piled up, my irrational behavior causing Jiang Yin to miss his college entrance exam, where he was supposed to be the top science student. I still remember that night before the exam, drunk from the bar, Jiang Yin waiting for me at the door, carefully watching over me. Ah, Rowan, don't be scared. I'm still here. Get away. Get out of here. It's all your fault. All because of you. I lashed out in emotional collapse, blaming him for his father's actions which led to people exploiting my father's company. I piled all the problems and conflicts on him. Jiang Yin didn't explain. He just kept apologizing. I knew it wasn't his or his father's fault, but I couldn't help but let out all those violent emotions. Later, I wiped my tears away. Let's break up. Arwan, don't. Jiang Yin pleaded desperately as he grabbed my hand. I don't want to be with you anymore. I feel sick just thinking about it, you know? No, Arwan. You looking like this really makes me feel disgusted. I didn't let him finish. Lu Tong had come to take me away, and he led me directly out of there. Zhang's mother was right. I was a disaster.